Funny if like they had a postseason tournament where they're like, since we have so many Bulldog names, like we need to narrow it down to one. So whoever wins gets to keep their name. You'd see the best basketball of your life. There's going to be some crazy shit. People are going to bet Eastern Washington, they lose by 10. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this team sucks. Or like Montana State blows a game and people are like, what the Big Sky's trash.
I feel like I just can't take you seriously. And at the same
program.
time, yeah, it's like I simultaneously can't take you seriously and I'm extremely interested in everything that you have to say.
That's good. That's what we need out of this stream, okay? Is that like inertia or something? There's like a...
Well, I mean, like, moving water requires colder energy to freeze. I can go call my mom. My mom literally lives on a river in Wisconsin.
What do we call that? Boots on
ground. Yeah. Okay, so you've got your mom's house on the under, and you've got life savings on UNLV. What else? What else can we wager? Future kids college fund. I mean, yeah. Well, so we're gonna double up, right? So we're gonna parlay the house and the life savings, and then we're gonna roll that through on something.
Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's. I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leaving I levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do. Hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit on my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboys Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. We've got a bit of a doozy here. We got a little back-to-back doubleheader stream-wise. Starting out with college basketball. We've got like probably 25 game slate or something today. I've got some games I've liked. I've got some notes written up on every single game on the slate. So we're gonna spend the next hour and a half going through all of that, trying to find a couple college basketball bets. And then following that up, we'll be joined by Ben at the top of the hour to break down the Buffalo Bills and Denver Broncos Monday night football game. All right, so first things first, let's address the monstrosity on the screen. No, I'm not talking about my mustache. I'm talking about all of the bets and leans that we had on the Friday stream. That was like an 85-90 game college basketball slate. Spent 2 hours going through it, and obviously had a lot of leans. And in the interest of transparency, let's go through all of these leans. So the full bet list is over there. Bets, including the not Coastal Carolina, that's the wrong CC. The Central Connecticut, plus 8.5 that we placed right as the stream was starting. 6-6-1 on the bets. But rapid fire, going through this. Central Connecticut plus 8.5. The first one, that was a win. They only lost by 4, so it's a cover. Charlotte ML was a loss. Wright State plus 10.5 is a loss. Duke minus 5.5 is a loss. It's 1-3 so far. Then we have A&M Ohio State under 139.5. It finished on exactly 139, so that's a W. Tennessee minus 2 is a W. They won by 10. Memphis money line plus 120 is a win. They won by 15. Kentucky minus 28.5 was an L. Boston College minus 9 is an L. Chattanooga Louisville over was a win. Davidson plus 11.5 was a big time win. They won that game outright. Youngstown State Michigan win by the hook in that game. Wake Forest money line was a loss. Butler minus 19.5 was air. That was free. That was a win. Kansas minus 36 was close, but a win. St. Joe's minus 6.5 was a loss. That was a win, sorry. The other St. Joe's bet, the over in that game, was a loss. Purdue minus 29.5 was a win. Austin P. George Mason over was a loss. Cincy minus 24 was a win. Abilene Christian, NC State under, pushed. Greensboro minus 21.5 was a loss. Furman minus 6 hit. Florida money line lost. Iowa minus 31.5 got hooked. That was a loss. Bellarmine, Kansas State over was a win. Murray State minus 12 was a loss. Auburn, Sela over was a win. Marquette minus 24.5 was a win. That was a lot of fucking leans and bets. 17, 12, and 1. We'll take it. We'll take that all day. The concern is having fucking 30 bets up on the screen and going like 10 and 20. That's bad news, Bears. We'll take 17, 12, and 1 on 30 bets all day long. So that was Friday. I think that the lean list that we've had on the stream has actually been profitable every single day that we've done one of these streams. And now that I say that, clearly gonna lose. Let me go ahead and get rid of this and refresh this. We have a fresh slate today. I guess my only qualm with all of that from yesterday, or not from yesterday, from Friday, is I did a bad job identifying which games we should actually bet. Shouldn't be going 6, 6, and 1 on actual bets that I placed when we got a 17, 12, and 1 list of leans. So, got to be better on that. But hey, we move. We're picking from the right things. Just gotta find the exact right ones. All right. So starting out today's slate, we've got Michigan and St. John's. Michigan and St. John's. Probably one of the games of today. One of the, one of two power conference matchups. It's a kind of interesting one, where we have two teams with a lot of changes from last year. That both looked like okay in their first games. Michigan, I guess, actually has looked better than okay. They pulled out back-to-back covers, also back-to-back overs in their two games so far. They're underdogs on the road at St. John's. This actually might not be a true road game. It's at Madison Square Garden, but I mean, St. John's is the home team. And I don't think they play their games at Madison Square Garden. Am I correct in that? So I think that this is like technically a neutral, but it's like basically a home game for St. John's. So it's St. John's minus 2.5, over under sitting at 155.5. I kind of lean Michigan in the over in this game. I don't love that this total has kind of crept its way up to 155.5. I would like to be getting it more in the lower 150s, so maybe a little hesitant to take that. But that's still kind of where I'm at. I guess that just the question mark is, like, how is Michigan's defense going to do? I mean, for me, that's the question mark. Their opponents have not shot the ball well so far. Youngstown State and Nashville, both, I think, a little bit underwhelming offensively, efficiency-wise. St. John's should shoot better. St. John's didn't cover. We had Stony Brook plus the points against St. John's in that first game that they played, which cashed. They haven't played since, so they might also be a little cold. So again, definitely kind of leaning Michigan, kind of leaning the over. Probably like the over a little bit more. Depending on how you guys feel, might fire something up here. Just have something that we're sweating out. But and you know what? Actually, let me go ahead and put both up. We'll take Michigan plus 2.5 as a lean B. No, as a lean, and we'll take Michigan and St. John's over. Also as a lean, and some guys remind me at like 6:25 Eastern. See if we want to go actually play something in that game. Also, real quick, let's do roll call. Forgot to do roll call. So if you're here, be sure to say what's up, say hello in the chat, give me your POD. Would love to know what you guys are on today's slate. And let's see what we got. So we got Heisenberg in the house. We got Bats. Says love the intro. Yeah, got to gamble the kids' college fund. I mean, that's like the first thing I would wager. What's up, Dad Bod? How's it going? What's up, West by God? What is up, NFL Material? Nick is a CBB god, not without chat's help. What's up, Carly? What's up, Clutchy? How's it going? What's up, George? Says Kentucky still sucks. Yeah, Kentucky. I mean, they just like had a bad first 10 minutes in that game against Texas A&M Commerce. They were fine after that, but not you can't have a bad 10 minutes when we needed to cover 30. Fluffy Bear says have the over in Michigan. Don't feel great about it. I kind of like the over here. What's up, Papa Bane? Says what's up, Goat? No, you're the Goat. George says all the Twitter cappers have given out St. John's. Yeah, I'm not in any rush at all to bet St. John's. This is one of those games where it feels like, oh, this is a sketchy line. Why is St. John's only -2.5? Or why is St. John's -2.5? Why isn't Michigan favored? Let's bet St. John's. No, Michigan feels like the better, more cohesive team here. The question marks around Michigan coming into the year were like, can they score? And they put up 90 plus in both games. I mean, obviously step up in competition today, but that's where I'm at. What's up, Run Forrest Gump with the redemption for the Butler game, so we'll hop to that one next. Dadbot says, yeah, model has Michigan winning over under 146. So with the over under, we have like St. John's has a new coach this year, so I am kind of ignoring what the model has to say as far as totals go because it's a little bit slower to adjust to big tempo changes. I guess I like saying that it likes Michigan. But I think we're still at the point in the year, especially when we have a team like St. John's that turned over literally the entire roster, that we can't just be relying on the model. I want to say like 5 games minimum for each team before we're saying like, okay, the model says this. If I like the other side, that's a red flag. Or conversely, model likes this. We should really be eyeing it. What is up? Who else we got? We got Naughty Afghan Child. How's it going? What it do? D Smalls. What's up? Tiso says Duquesne -13.5 POD. I love me some Duquesne basketball this year. I don't know that I feel quite comfortable enough laying 13.5, but we'll get to that one soon. What's up, TJ? How's it going? T Snides. What's up? Says give me the Cougars -33.5. Big Rob says Corp prime time under on this game. Clutchy also says Javon is on the under in Stetson. Interesting. Fluffy Bear says East Tennessee spread. Again, we're going to get to that Butler game coming up soon. Chris, of course, likes Michigan. What's up, Brad? On St. John's -2. So I'm already 0-1. Hey, not necessarily. I don't know if I'm going to place this. And I'm probably going to place the over and not the spread. Also, why the hell did I put Michigan plus 0.5? I just missed the 2. Let me fix that. Okay. And what is up, Jedris? How's it going? We land it with Purdue? I don't think so. Yeah. All right. So that's where we're at on the Michigan game. And let's talk about Butler. So Butler. It's early. Team that I have bet on in both of their games so far. I bet they've been like -17.5 to -20-ish in both of their games. And they've clobbered their opponents. 35-point wins or more both times against Eastern Michigan, against SEMO. And they're again -17.5 today, hosting East Tennessee State. I am definitely a little bit more hesitant to bet Butler in this spot. I think East Tennessee State is definitely a step up talent-wise compared to that Eastern Michigan team, compared to that Southeast Missouri State team that Butler has played so far this year. East Tennessee State is a little bit hard to figure out what to make of them. Again, they're bringing in a new coach, coming over from the Wake Forest, an assistant under Steve Forbes at Wake Forest. They played a pretty close game against Elon in their first game. It's maybe a little bit early to tell if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Elon had a pretty awful performance against North Dakota yesterday. Just did not score enough. I was actually on the over in that game. And it ended up hitting in just like the stupidest, craziest backdoor over ever. But maybe that's like not such a great performance out of Etsu. So with the way that Butler is playing, I mean, the lean definitely has to be Butler. They're just putting up so many points and really, really playing good defense. The lean has to be Butler. I doubt I'm going to be betting them here, though. I mean, I might bet them just because, again, they're early wagon candidate They're one of the few things that I've bet on multiple times already this year, and it's cash both times. So put Butler minus 17.5 down as a lean. Again, I'm still not quite there. Is anybody on anything in this Butler game? If we have some people that are already like independently on Butler, that would make me feel better. If this is a game that people are just kind of glancing over because the line is sketch, then that's fair, and maybe we won't take it. Clamper says a team total. Could be a team total. Again, with Eastern Tennessee State, they have a new coach this year. I'm speculating they're going to be playing faster as opposed to slower. Again, just coming from the Steve Forbes system at Wake Forest is a faster team for sure. Just don't. I don't want to bet team totals unless I really have a good grip on the pace though. I have no total lean in this game. See, Truthify likes Butler. All right. Yeah, definitely leaning Butler. All right, so I think we have... Oh, no. So I guess Michigan St. John's is the only D1 versus D1 game at 6:30 Eastern. So we've got a bunch of the 7 o'clock games now. All right. FIU and Miami. This is an interesting game. I see George just said Miami first half spread. I actually think that I like Miami full game here. Both of these teams fly up and down the court. Miami, everybody knows Miami plays fast. They're currently in KenPom number 19 in tempo. Less people know about FIU, but they're actually number 14 in tempo this year. And when you're a team that plays at a very high tempo, but don't have a lot of guys who can go out and score, that's a bad sign, especially when you're facing such a massive talent and size disadvantage, the way that they are against Miami. I mean, Miami's not like the biggest team, so I guess like size disadvantage, maybe not so much, but just like a skill in scoring disadvantage, FIU's at. So FIU, they've played 2 games so far this year. They played Central Florida, they played Tarleton. They got blown out both times. 24 turnovers against Central Florida, 21 turnovers against Tarleton. You telling me that Miami's not going to turn them over a bunch today? I mean, Miami's not like the best defensive team ever, but I just don't know how FIU scores here, and Miami's going to score at will. So I'm really actually leaning Miami minus 23.5. I'm going to call this a strong lean. I like the look of this bet quite a bit. I don't want. I probably want to cap out at like 5 or 6 bets in the college basketball slate. So not 100% sure I'm going to get there on this one. But out of everything that we've talked about so far, this is probably my favorite thing. I know George said first half. I don't want to fuck with first half versus full game unless I have like a really good reason to. And I think with the way that this tempo's going, or should go in this game, I don't think they like it's not going to slow down. All right. So Gump was not worried about it moving from 20.5. No, I mean, honestly, like, no. I think just if I like it at the number, I'm not gonna like. All we can do is work with the information that we have right now, and the options that we have available to us right now. And we're showing like all that we can do is bet this game at 23. So it's, I mean, maybe a sign that it was obviously a better number at 20 or 20.5, but I'm not scared, especially in college basketball. Yeah, it's 22.5 minus 118 on FanDuel. I'd rather bet 23 at minus 110. All right. Also, it's important. We do need to keep tempo and pace as we're going through because we do have just 38 minutes. I would love to spend like 5 minutes in every game. I don't think we can do that. Villanova and Penn. This is a really interesting one. So Nova, a little bit underwhelming in the first half of that Lemoyne game. Lemoyne had like, I want to say like a double-digit lean early on after being absolutely shit against Georgetown. Nova also covered against American in their first game. I'm honestly not super impressed with Penn this year. Obviously, Jordan Dingle is gone. We know Schlackert is there. He's a good scorer, not a great scorer. I think that the issue here is that the big game that Penn had, I mean, they beat Bucknell pretty handily, and that was because they destroyed Bucknell on the glass. 52 rebounds to 22 rebounds against Bucknell in that game. And then the game that they played against St. Joe's, where they didn't have such a size advantage, and they're not a big team to begin with. But they lost that game. They've committed 16 turnovers in both of their games. They're not shooting well from three. I think that this is a kind of sneaky spot where Nova comes out and just wins this game by 20. I do have quite a few dogs I like today. Yeah, but we've got, I think, back to back here. Bigger spreads where I like the favorite. I kind of like Nova to cover 11.5. And yeah, I'm not 100% confident in this. This is definitely a lean and not a bet for me in this game. But probably my second favorite thing that we've talked about so far after the Miami thing. Went with the home gym angle. Yeah, I mean, the Penn fans will be there for sure, but they had home gym advantage against St. Joe's also, and just didn't cover in that game. Oh, no, never mind. That was at St. Joe's. Just kidding. For some reason, I thought that game was at Penn. So ignore that. So yeah, I mean, maybe that helps them here. In these Philly v Philly games, that is a big thing. But yeah, leaning Nova, probably not going to bet it. Okay, Siena and American. I think that I'm staying away from this game. American has their coach has said in the preseason that they really want to push pace. Again, this is a new head coach this year. I've bet the over in both of American's games so far. Or actually, no, I didn't bet it against Nova. I was a lean for me against Nova, and I didn't bet it, and then I did bet it in their last game, which it did not hit in. I don't know. Siena's best player is questionable, so I'm going to be staying out. For me, that's like the difference maker here. We don't know. I don't know if he's playing, so I'm out on that. Citadel and Presbyterian. Citadel caked my POD, the last college basketball stream that we did on Friday. Honestly, they've been looking pretty good so far. I mean, covered against Boston College, covered against NC State, kind of kept the tempo relatively low in those games. I mean, they've had some turnover issues for sure, but doing enough. Taking on a Presbyterian team that also playing pretty well this year. I mean, they beat Vanderbilt outright in their only D1 opponent that they've played so far this year. I'm kind of thinking about the under in this game. Again, both of these teams are pretty low tempo. Presbyterian especially is a team that like year after year after year has tons and tons and tons of like super athletic wings who can defend well, but nobody can like drive to the basket. Nobody can shoot. This Presbyterian team feels the exact same way. And the Citadel, I feel like they still have a little bit of a reputation that they had a couple of years ago where they were like flying up and down the court. New coach in last year, and they come in 299 in tempo. So this is a slow team. So with this number sitting at 135.5, the lean for me here, or even 136 on PointsBet and Bovada, the lean has to be the under. So give me Presbyterian Citadel under 136 as a lean. I like this one quite a bit also. Anybody have any thoughts on that one? Next game is Hampton and Norfolk State. I have no idea what to make of this game. Norfolk State hasn't played a D1 team yet this year. They lose a couple of their best players from last year's team. I mean, they're the program that should be like the better program. But I don't know. Staying away from that one. Am I betting it? I'm not 100% sure yet. I have it up as a lean. I have not placed any bets yet. I've been spending 100% of my time in the lab. I am logged into the book. Actually, just got logged out. Timing out. But no, planning on placing bets as we wrap up the stream. There's a couple things that I'm like definitely going to be betting. And everything that's up here is most things that are up here is a lean. I'm like legitimately considering. Okay, Central Michigan and Florida State. So Florida State in their first game against, who was it? It was Kennesaw State. They played fast as fuck. They were inefficient offensively against Kennesaw State. But there were just so many possessions. They took 20 2-point shots and 33 threes and 25 free throws. That's just like so much up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. They won that game by 27 points against Kennesaw State. Despite shooting pretty inefficiently all around. CMU got blown out by Oklahoma, lost as favorites to Louisiana Monroe. They've turned the ball over a ton with 19 and 17 in their 2 games. Not a good 3-point shooting team. Florida State's going to destroy them inside. I really like either Florida State or the over in this game. It's like Florida State's going to score 90. It's just, does Central Michigan put up 70 and it soars over? Or do they score 50 and Florida State gets the easy cover? So I'm going to put both up as leans. I'm definitely going to be betting something here. Would love to know if anybody in the chat has thoughts on this game yet. But give me FSU minus 20.5, strong lean, and CMU FSU over. Also as a strong lean. Would love to know if anybody has anything here. But yeah, Central Michigan just going to get destroyed inside. And I'm expecting pretty high tempo here. Okay. North Florida and South Carolina State. Here is the first thing that I'm 100% going to be on. Give me North Florida in this spot all day long. This is a team that we've already bet on as underdogs this year. Had them against Charleston Southern. They won that game outright on the road. This South Carolina State team is so much worse than that Charleston Southern team. We bet against SC State in their first game against South Florida. I was expecting South Florida to win and cover that game pretty easily because that's like one of my early wagons this year. But they did so much better than expected. I think a lot of that was just because SC State is so bad. I was expecting to see this number at like 10. It's what is it right now? It's sitting at 4.5 minus 115 on MGM. Yeah, this is a pretty easy. Let me go to a new line. UNF minus 5. This is a bet. Yeah, I like this North Florida team. They have a lot of guys who can shoot the ball. I mean, they struggle a little bit defensively, but this SC State team is just not the team to exploit that. So love me some North Florida today. And yeah, Crizo, every play with very few exceptions will be 1 unit. All right, Stony Brook and Duquesne. Stony Brook, we talked about them slightly earlier in talking about St. John's. They covered in that first game against St. John's. Honestly, this Stony Brook team I think should be pretty good this year. They returned like 3 guys who were supposed to be impact players for them who transferred in last year, who just didn't, like they all got hurt, either like in the preseason or in the first couple of games. So there's a lot more talent on the Stony Brook team than like, if you look at what the players did last year, than what that indicates. That being said, this Duquesne team is just awesome. So I think that this is a stay away spot for me. Maybe an over. I don't really know what we're going to get tempo wise out of Stony Brook. I mean, that first game against St. Joe's had like 160 points or something in it. But I'm probably off this game. I mean, these are both teams I'm looking to target. We've got a number of, what was it? Yeah, 13 and a half. This one feels like it comes down to the last couple possessions, one way or the other. So I'm off this game. Do we watch the games every night? I watch games when I can. I mean, obviously, it's impossible to watch like every game. I'm not Greg Peterson out here knowing all the stats for all the players, anything like that. Thoughts on the under in this game? Definitely not. In Stony Brook and Duquesne. All right, so next up was East Tennessee State and Butler. Already talked about that. Again, the lean is Butler. Team that I've bet both of their games so far. Don't love this number as much as I did the last two. Quinnipiac and UMass. Okay. This is a bit of a weird one. So Quinnipiac, we bet against Quinnipiac on Friday. We had that Central Connecticut State game that we sweat out. That bet against them was much more of I think that Central Connecticut was very underrated in that spot as opposed to thinking that Quinnipiac is overrated. I think that this Quinnipiac team is actually pretty decent this season. They did a good job moving the ball. 21 assists on their 29 buckets that they made was something I have written down, but I also had 28 turnovers against Central Connecticut. Coach says that they want to push pace. UMass, Frank Martin, we know they're pushing pace. But UMass also just like turns over a ton of their roster from last year. So the leans were like maybe UMass minus 7.5. Again, I just have some concerns about the continuity on that team. I also think that the turnover issues from Quinnipiac against a very aggressive Frank Martin defense. I mean, we know Frank Martin from his time at South Carolina, where consistently had some of the better defenses in the SEC. Is probably something that's pretty heavy advantage UMass. I just don't know that I'm going to quite get there at 7.5. So I will say UMass minus 7.5 as a lean in the spot for sure. Yeah, St. John's game started. Yeah, I'm comfortable just not having a bet there. Again, the leans are on the screen. I'm cool being out. Florida Gulf Coast and Pitt, staying the hell away from this game. Again, I went to Pitt for grad school. I'm biased towards Pitt. I don't really have anything here. I hate betting on them. VMI in South Carolina is kind of interesting. VMI has so many freshmen. There's 9 scholarship freshmen on that team. 6 of them in their opening D1 game against Richmond. 6 freshmen. 16 or more minutes. That's crazy. They're a young team. That being said, it looks like they have guys who can kind of score the ball. And I don't know that I trust South Carolina to cover such a massive spread here. We're sitting at like 22 and a half. And the other interesting thing is just like a massive tempo clash. VMI flies up and down the court. South Carolina really, really wants to grind the game down. So concerns for me there about the tempo influencing South Carolina's ability to actually cover. So I'm out on that game. Stephen F. Austin and Northwestern State. We bet against Northwestern State in their first game against Tulane. That ended up pushing at 17. Some people probably got in at a better number than 17 for Tulane and would have cashed. There was like a bucket with 5 seconds left to take it from a 19 to 17 point game. I think that we got a little unlucky there. Tulane went just 1 of 14 from 3 in that game. Northwestern State bringing in like an entirely new team of like all JUCO players. Tulane feasted inside 28 of 42 on 2-point shots out of Tulane. Stephen F. Austin's a good team. They played great defensively against Middle Tennessee State in their first game. Just couldn't keep them off the free throw line, so Middle Tennessee State stayed in. I don't think Northwestern State is anywhere near as much of a threat in that way. I think SFA can shoot better from 3 than Tulane did. They can still beat them down inside. I like the look on SFA quite a bit at minus 13. Or we'll call it minus 12.5, where it's out on FanDuel. Speaking of Middle Tennessee State, they take on Western Carolina. Shout out Western Carolina for beating Notre Dame yesterday. That was a nice little W. Or I guess that was 2 days ago. That was on Saturday. I I think that game was more because Notre Dame is just bad. We've got two pretty slow teams here. I think I like the under in this spot. I like the under. Like the under here. I just think that we have two teams that kind of struggle shooting and don't play all that fast. So give me the under. That's where I'm at in that game. I think if I have to bet a side, it is probably Western Carolina. I agree with you guys on that. There's going to be 200 points in the St. John's game. Hey, should have bet the over. And yeah, MTSU is very tough at home. They are, I guess now the stat was like 30-2 in home games coming into the season. So they're 32-2 now or something in their last 34 home games. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Central Arkansas. Cameron Hunter is out for Central Arkansas. I saw somebody commenting earlier about the favorite in that game switching from Central Arkansas to Arkansas Pine Bluff. I mean, we already knew that he was out. I'm not sure that the market was set accounting for that fact. So that's probably why. But yeah, I'm not touching this game with their best player out. Stetson and Houston. Stetson can shoot. Houston can defend. Spread's massive. It's like 33 or something. I don't want to touch this game. I don't want to bet 33 against like a decent team when we've been betting 33s against teams that are that Stetson would be minus 10 against. I also don't want to bet on Stetson here. That feels like setting yourself up to just hate your life for 2 hours. Southern and Houston. Southern and Arizona. Southern, complete roster turnover from last year. New coach. They don't have a lot of size in the front court, which against Arizona is just going to be a massive problem. I mean, we saw Arizona dominate inside against Duke. You think Southern is going to do anything? I don't think so. And with the way that Arizona pushes pace, we've seen year after year after year, there's like Arizona early season overs are such good bets because they'll go out and put up like 100 points a game and just not sweat about it. So I really like the over in this spot. Also, I think Southern can score. They've put up 85 and 75 in their two games. They put up, I think, 85 in that win against UNLV. They put up 75 against TCU. So they're going to get there. So it's not going to be like 100 to 50 and we go under. It's probably going to be like 110 to 70 or something. So total here is high, deservedly so. I'm going to be on the over. We'll call that a bet. And actually, let me double check on unabated. Yeah, there's still 160. Actually, 161.5 on FanDuel. We'll call it that. All right. Old Dominion and Arkansas. I don't want to touch this game. Spread feels kind of right. Old Dominion's a good defensive team that can't really shoot. It just comes down to whether Arkansas can score enough, despite Old Dominion defending well. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can. The number where it's at feels pretty good. It's at like 20. Feels right. First half under in. Are you talking Old Dominion, Arkansas? I mean, maybe it could be the under there just in general. I just don't know like quite how well Old Dominion defends here. Not a game I had a great read on the total for. Suey, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, and Missouri. I'm a big fan of this SIUE team, or at least a couple of their players, Rayshawn Taylor and DeMarco Minor. It's like one of the better backcourt scoring duos in all of mid-major basketball. SIUE opened the season against Dayton and just like couldn't score inside against Dayton. They were terrible. Mizzou's biggest starter is 6'7". I think that this is a spot where 19.5 points is just way too many points. At the same time, I remember I was very high on this SIUE team going into last season. They played the same game against Missouri And I think the number was about the same. And I bet them, and they didn't cover. So I remember I even pitched it on the surgical stream. And they didn't cover. So I have a little bit of PTSD from that. I think, though, I'm happy to run back SIUE plus 19.5 as a lean. And let's double check where we're at. Okay, so no more 19.5. So it's at 19 now. So we'll call it 19. Gunnar Henderson wins Rookie of the Year. W for Gunnar Henderson. All right, we've got how many more games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more games. We'll try and get through in the next 7 minutes or so, and then put together the actual list of bets for today. South Dakota State and Kansas State. Give me the dogs in this one too. Give me South Dakota State plus the points. They have so many dudes who can shoot the ball. And with Kansas State, I mean, I know they brought in a bunch of guards that people really like. They brought in Tyler Perry. They brought in God, what's his face? They brought in Quez Glover. They have Cam Carter. These are all guys who can go out and get buckets, but they're all inefficient scorers inside the paint. Kansas State's like a better inside for sure, but I don't think that. I guess let me say this. So I think that if this comes down to a 3-point shooting contest, you're very happy getting 10.5 points with South Dakota State, and if Kansas State tries to play this game with their guards driving into the paint and then giving up threes on the other end, I really like South Dakota State in that kind of game also. So just give me 10.5 points here for the team that will just get buckets. And I'll be on this for sure. And actually, let me use our correct abbreviation here. This is SDST and not SDSU. Oh, actually, no, it's SDSU, not SDST. Okay. Closing too many tabs. Is unanimous for Gunner. That's big. All right, Ryder and Nebraska. This is another bet that I really like. Give me Nebraska. I'm not a big fan of Nebraska basketball. This Ryder team is going to be bad this year. They just have no scoring. They have no scoring at all. Dwight Murray was like the only guy on this team who could shoot or pass or do anything last year, and he's gone. They lost by 30 to Marquette in their first game. We've been happy to be betting Nebraska against bad teams these last couple of games that they've played. They beat FAMU by, 27? Beat Lindenwood by 32. I think Ryder's a little bit better than those teams, but not by much. I think this is one of the more egregious numbers today. Give me Nebraska minus 14.5. Let me double check where the number's at. 14 on DraftKings. Sure, we'll take that. Love this. Love this spot here.
To the Cowboy Show.
Also, Clutchy coming in with the brand new Tier 1 sub. Bang! Appreciate that, Clutchy. Thank you for supporting the stream. All right, I know we're kind of going fast through these games, but again, we do need to finish up right at 5 o'clock my time for some NFL talk with Ben. Oral Roberts and Missouri State. The only thing I have written down is fuck this game. So nothing there. Xavier and Purdue, I'm completely out on this. I mean, I don't know what to make of Xavier. Their best players are all hurt. Like, Fremantle's out. I forget who, but like their other big returning player is out. 17.5 is a lot of points here, but yeah, that's just a weird game. UC Santa Barbara and UTEP. UCSB is in a weird spot. They're very banged up. Their best player, AJ Mitchell, is out, missed their first game, going to continue to be out in this one. They only played 7 players in their first game, which is not a good sign. That was a close game, a game with a lot of points, and they only used 7 players. They did a good job scoring the ball. did not do a good job defending against a pretty good Portland State team. UTEP is a very, very good defensive team. I was reading a stat that they're like one of the best teams in the country at forcing isolation possessions. So if we're forcing guys to ISO every possession and you have no depth and you're missing your best ISO scorer, kind of feels like advantage UTEP in this spot. I'm also a little bit worried about UTEP scoring. Rich says, my minors ain't Ferda. Yeah, I mean, UTEP is not a fun team to bet on. This is much more of a bet on UCSB can't score with AJ Mitchell out. It could also be the under, absolutely. UTEP is not a particularly fast team. UC Santa Barbara is also not a fast team. The concern though is that UCSB just like doesn't try on defense, because it kind of felt like that's the way the game against Portland State went. So I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings here. It's either the under or it's UTEP. It just depends on, do you think UCSB tries hard on offense and not on defense, or do you think they try hard on defense and not on offense? And I think that kind of regardless of which one of those it is, UTEP is the better move, but only one of those two things, the under is the better move. And that's kind of why I like UTEP as the lean, sitting at minus 3.5. Wouldn't fault anybody for placing the under. I don't know. It's a tough spot. And then last two games, LIU and Pepperdine, no, don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And then Cal State, Bakersfield, and Cal. Chris, did you know that AJ Mitchell's out for UCSB? He's like by far their best player. Probably the one of the best two players in the Big West. Him and Elijah Pepper. But yeah, I just can't trust them. Passing on Houston, yeah, I'm passing on Houston. I can't trust them to score 33, to cover 33 against a team that can shoot really well. Pepperdine did smack their spread yesterday. It's like so many points to cover, and I don't know what LIU is this year. I mean, they're definitely better than they were last year. It's just how much better or worse. I don't know. I think I'm staying away from the Bakersfield Cal game also. It like might be the under, but I don't think I actually want to take the under. It's a lot of points. I mean, so it might be Bakersfield. I just don't know if Bakersfield can score. Just don't think UTEP can score either. Yeah, I mean, then maybe it is the under. And yeah, back-to-back is definitely sketch for smaller schools. It's sketchy for everybody. I mean, we saw it already once this year. I bet on SMU when they were on a back-to-back, and they just didn't have the gas to cover a big number. And that was just a kind of dumb thing to do on my end. All right. Let's play some bets. They played yesterday, or they might have played 2 days ago. They played Lafayette, because I remember I was on the over against Lafayette, and yeah, that game was yesterday, and the over did not come close, just because Lafayette couldn't do shit. All right, so Michigan and St. John's, obviously that game is underway. Over looking like it was probably a good bet, although still plenty of time. Let's do this again. So what do we have? Butler minus 17.5. A lot of mixed feelings here. I love this Butler team. I just don't know if this is a great number. I might do it just to say, like, hey, I trust this team right now. But Etsu is definitely better than their other two opponents so far this year. Yeah. This is definitely like a true coin flip for me. Miami minus 23. I think I'm going to end up betting that. Villanova minus 11.5 against Penn. I don't think I want to do this just because it's at Penn. And that's obviously like factored into the spread already. But yeah. And yeah, I agree. FIU looks really bad. So we're going to stay away from Nova and Penn. Presbyterian and Citadel under. Probably not. Probably not for me. Which means this game is going to finish like 50-51. Actually, let's see what everything else looks like. Florida State. I'm taking that for sure. And actually, it's at 20 now. Or at least I didn't check what a new number was at. It might have already been at 20. But I'll take Florida State minus 20. The over was also a strong lean there for me. I think I'd rather just take the points. North Florida for sure is a bet at minus 5. UMass minus 7.5. Maybe. But I don't want to force this one, I don't think. Stephen F. Austin minus 12.5. I think I'm in on this. Western Carolina, Middle Tennessee State under. Probably not taking that. Southern and Arizona over. Yep, for sure. SIUE plus 19. Definitely like it. Don't know if I love it enough. South Dakota State plus 10.5 for sure. Nebraska for sure. That's 7. And then the other things that are in consideration, I think. I don't think I want to bet UTEP, but the Presbyterian Citadel under and the Western Carolina Middle Tennessee State under. I think I like the Citadel one a little bit more. Just because I think that the Middle Tennessee State game is more prone to fouls and free throws becoming a big factor. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bet that Citadel Presbyterian under 136. We'll give a little love to the unders. All right, so that's the bet slip today. 8 college, or at least 4 college basketball. Again, we've got the don't go anywhere. We got Ben hopping on in a minute, or in 3 minutes, and we're going to talk through some NFL. Is North Florida the POD? So I think that there's 2 POD contenders. I think North Florida and Nebraska are the 2 POD contenders. I think it's going to be North Florida as the POD, but it's definitely those 2 for sure are the 2 POD contenders. No shot. Ben makes it at 5. We'll see. We'll see. What's up, QB Vision? How's it going? Can I tweet this out after stream? I'll go tweet it out right now. I'm going to message Ben and say, ready for you whenever. How could I not get tickets to the North Florida game? Hey, maybe those South Carolina State fans are just going crazy. But yeah, here, let me tweet out CBB card today. Miami minus 23. Florida State minus 20. North Florida minus 5. Stephen F. Austin minus 12.5. Southern Arizona over 161.5. South Dakota State plus 10.5. Nebraska minus 14. Citadel Presbyterian under 136. Go gas that up. Give me all of the impressions. Yeah, we'll see when Ben comes on. I actually don't have a graphic set up for me for the football game solo, where it has like the logos on the side and it says Monday Night Football. I only have one set up with 2 cameras, so we can't switch over to that. But yeah, W college basketball stream. Let me see here. So what do I need to do? I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get Ben in here. I need to start a poll. Let's get the poll going first for the football game. We'll go 10 minutes on this. Favorite side total. What are we looking at now? I'm going to be honest. Also, I need Ben on here. I spent most of my lab time today thinking about college basketball. So kind of counting on Ben to carry a little bit. All right. So there is a poll up for the NFL game. Get your votes in. Let me know what you like. Dilly Dilly, yeah, staying away from the Oral Roberts game. Enough roster turnover on both of those teams, losing big pieces, that I'm out. Is it back to back? Yeah, I'm not even ending the stream. I'm just gonna wait for Ben and then switch the graphic. And then in the meantime, honestly, maybe we just sweat out some college basketball. Looks like Michigan is up. Over definitely still on pace. But yeah, get your votes in on the college basketball, or on the NFL poll. And then I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Let's get Ben in this bitch. Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Doing pretty good. How was the college basketball preview?
College basketball is good. Yeah, DM leak bang W. All right. So yeah, I think I have an eight bets
Nice.
on the slate.
Nice.
Hold on. I need to get my camera up here real quick. So turn that off and then go like this and like this. And that didn't do it. I'm gonna go like
Also,
this.
can I tell you a quick story real quick about
Oh yeah.
college basketball? So last night, I was looking at the card, and ESPN said that the Duquesne-Stony Brook game was in Lincoln because it's like the Cornhusker Classic, but it's just the first, like the it's not in Lincoln itself. So then in the morning they changed it. So I played the under, but it ended up working out because I still got 2 points of CLV. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, we've got a 3-pointer in the first 14 seconds, so we're on pace for 12 points a minute.
Oh, so it's going to be
across 40
200?
minutes. It's going to be way more than 200.
Yes, 600 actually, something like that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
even higher.
12 times 40. On pace for 480 points. Although that tempo just quickly slowed down.
Good.
All right. That's why sample sizes are important.
Absolutely.
All right. So, okay. Also, real quick, I should tell you the card. So we have. I just tweeted this out. I've got Miami minus 23 because FIU
right?
is dog water. Yeah. We got Florida State minus 20. I was kind of thinking I maybe should have played the over in that one instead.
Yeah, but the over's, I mean, it's pretty high. It's like, I know they play fast paced, but it's like, then you have to rely on Central Michigan to make shots.
Yeah, and I was like guessing it was kind of like maybe more likely that we get like Florida State's going to score.
Mm-hmm.
That's I guess that's the ultimate thing. I've got North Florida minus 5 POD.
Who do they play again?
They're at South Carolina State.
Mm.
We got Stephen F. Austin minus 12.5 against Northwestern State. We've got the over 161.5 in Southern and Arizona. We've got South Dakota State plus 10.5 against Kansas State. We've got Nebraska minus 14, which is the POD runner-up. And Citadel Presbyterian under 136. I accidentally sent out in the tweet 163. I'm just seeing right now. Which is like definitely so here I am giving out minus 5,000 plays. GG's.
Well, you still like the under. It's better that way, I think, than the other way around.
Oh yeah, then like accidentally saying over.
Yeah. Mm.
So there's that. We also have an NFL game to talk about. Your Denver Broncos, Ben, on the road in Buffalo, taking on the Bills. Bills up to minus 7.5. I believe they were sitting at 7 for a while. But we're up to 7.5. Total sitting at like 47.5. Chat, we've got a poll up, the first of 5 polls we're going to be running today to see what you guys like in this game. So be sure to go get your votes in. You've got maybe 3 or 4 minutes still to get your votes in. And Ben, how do you rate your Broncos' chances in this game? I mean, I know we've gone from talk of them tanking to talk of, I mean, it's going to be next to impossible for this team to actually get number 1 pick. They could lose the rest of the games and still not get the number 1 pick, probably.
Yeah, I think at this point, even if they did lose out, the Panthers, I think, aka the Bears, because they have the pick. But yeah, it's looking like that's not going to happen. What's weird about the Broncos is it went from like even you like let's just take away the tank conversation. If you just look at like, hey, we're looking to sell some assets. It went from, hey, let's sell Judy and Sutton, and then I mean there were even rumors of like Surtain, Simmons. Some of those I didn't think were going to happen anyway, but it went from that to we beat the Packers and then we beat the Chiefs. So now, like, we're not going to trade anything away and we're content. I don't know. It's weird because if they lose one of those games, if they lose the Packers game, right, and then even if they beat the Chiefs or one way or another, I don't even know if they still keep the players. Like, I feel like it was that close. There was so much indecision, but here we are, off a bye.
Yeah, here we are.
What's the record again? We're 3-5.
3
So
and
if you
5.
lose, I mean, you're 7.5 point dog. You lose, you're 3-6. Are you gonna feel the same energy you felt 2 weeks ago after beating the Chiefs? That's why I'm like, man, I think we should have shipped at least Sutton or Judy, one of those two, but
Yeah.
they didn't. So
No, I mean, I honestly, like, is it crazy to say that, like, if just like a couple little things go right for this Broncos team, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be challenging for a playoff spot, because like somebody between the Bills and the Dolphins has to get a wild card spot, and then the entire AFC North has a winning record right now.
they're just beating. Well, and then they're gonna start because at this point they're really gonna be playing each other almost like every other week at least, right? Like Browns. Well, they just played the Ravens, but then it's just going to be that division is really interesting.
Yeah, so let's actually take a look real quick at those schedules. I think so. Baltimore has played 4 of their 6 divisional games already.
Wow. Okay.
They beat the Bengals, lost to the Steelers, lost to the Browns, and beat the Browns. Cincinnati has played just 1 game against the Ravens, 1 game against the Browns. So they still have 4.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, the Browns have played twice against the Ravens, once against the Bengals, once against the Steelers. And then the Steelers have played the Browns once, Ravens once.
Wow. As a Ravens fan, would you rather play division games later?
Oh, God,
or
no.
Really? Why? Because they're so physical?
Yeah. They're so physical. They're so tough. It's just like, give me the coin flippy games when it matters a little bit less at the beginning of the season, and give me games against whatever other team later on.
So the Niners and the Dolphins, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Maybe not the Niners, but
there's no easy games
Dolphins.
in this league.
Yeah, there really isn't. And yeah, the Bills. I think the Bills are not going to have an easy game tonight. Like regardless of like the spread. What are we looking at for a spread? Because it's been bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm showing 7.5 basically across the board.
7.5.
Yep.
Okay.
And speaking of 7.5, chat ended up voting for the Bills minus 7.5. That got 6 of the 7 spread votes. We had 8 votes on the total. 8 votes on the total, 5 on the under, 3 on the over.
Okay. Man, I think this is a pretty good line in my eyes. It's one of those that if it was at 7 minus 110, I'd probably lean with Buffalo.
Yeah.
But if it's 7.5, 110, I'm probably gonna have to lean with Denver.
All right, so I'll give you the Broncos, or do you want the total?
Yeah, so Nick, what's been going on with these totals in primetime games? I think they're hitting at like
It's just under. Somebody said 75% primetime unders this season.
Like at this point, are we crazy to bet over? Right?
Well, I mean, so like, what's the reasoning on that? Is that like betting the over because overs are due, because the market makers know this trend and the betting public knows this trend, so numbers are getting bet down? Or are we betting the over because you like the over in this game, just in general?
Like, I think this is really fascinating when stuff like this happens, because you'll hear about these like little trends, and then maybe there is something to them. Maybe they aren't mainstream, but this one has gotten so mainstream. But it's like interesting to me because it's almost to the point where I don't want to say like sharp syndicate groups are taking into account like this trend, but they know of it, and it's almost like I almost feel like if a syndicate group is on a total, it's either the under or nothing here. Like, yeah, I just can't see, because maybe there is something there, or maybe it's just an insane coincidence.
Yeah. Oh, also, iWager Sports, I completely agree. I want to point this out because I know you'd had your first time chat a couple minutes ago. Also, welcome to the stream, by the way. But yeah, no, I was saying if we're betting the over as like a it's air quotes it's due contrarian play, then that's like very bad reasoning to be betting on that side. Yeah. Like that's what I was getting at.
Because if you've been doing that the last 5 games, you're on 5,
or the last 5 years, you're probably
down
a ton.
So I think from a matchup standpoint, Nick, I lean under because I think Denver is really going to double down on controlling the clock. The run game has been working well for them. I think it's going to be a classic game where Denver is just getting third downs, milking the clock, and I think the time just keeps ticking. And the only thing though is like if offenses are efficient in the red zone in this game, then I'm looking at the Bills for the most part. Then it's probably going to go over, but I would have to lean under. I just can't get there with an over.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
so actually put me down for an under.
Okay, yeah, I have you down for the under. I have chat down on the Bills. And honestly, I'm actually about to export this and change my mind here. I'm going to take the under 2. The model has this going over by like half a point. Mm-hmm. But the model doesn't know that we have to dock points because prime time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, you can't bet the over here. I also kind of like the Bills in this spot, but I'm with you. I was like ready to fire up the Bills at 7, 7.5. I don't like losing on a 27-20 game, which feels like a very, very reasonable score here.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on with the weather? Any wind in this one, or is it just?
Let's go.
Is it right on the threshold of? Because I saw some gusts.
9-mile-an-hour winds right now.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
Yeah, so gusts may be up to like 15 max, but
yeah.
Okay, that's good then. Well, depends what you're betting, but
yeah. Okay, so it looks like we are kind of in agreement here. Sides are pretty close, under probably the move as far as the total goes. All right, so let's transition and talk about some player props. So we're going to be moving from left to right across the graphic, from passing props into receiving props, into rushing props, into touchdown props. So, chat, what we need from you in order to run a poll is your favorite passing prop in today's game. Can be any player on either team. And when I say any player, I mean Russell Wilson or Josh Allen. Over, under passing yards, attempts, completions, over under passing touchdowns, over under interceptions, over under longest completion. We'll save the rushing props, even if it's those guys for rushing. We'll save the pass catching options for what's up next. And please give me the numbers. So see, Carly is on Russ under. Carly, what is Russ's under at? Heisberg's got Russ under 29.5 attempts. Yeah, Carly. I don't know all these numbers off the top of my head. I spent
the numbers are too much.
Yeah, I just did an hour-long college basketball show where I had like a five pages worth of write-ups on all these games. That's where most of my attention went. I don't have all of the prop numbers memorized in this game.
Nick, you need to have all these written. What is that, like Rain Man, Nick? He just knows everything off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those videos of those guys? They can name like, what was the final score? The Yankees Red Sox back in like September 6, 1975, and the guy will be like 8-4.
Yeah, no, some people are just crazy like that.
Just crazy. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. Shit, yeah. I can't remember what I had for breakfast today.
Okay, so we've got Russell Wilson under attempts, Russell Wilson under yards.
I had a banana.
I guess we can go ahead and put in Josh Allen at 279.5.
Oh.
All right. So I just put in the over-under passing yards plus the attempts prop for Wilson. All right, poll is up. Get your votes in. And Ben, what is your favorite passing prop in this game?
Oh, man. So, man, I'm looking at Russ, but I'm indecisive. So I'm almost like, do I throw up a fade here? Can we start just talking about Russ and his number? I just want to hear what you think about 212.
Yeah.
Basically.
So 212 for Russell Wilson is a very, very, very interesting number. So the Bills have been one of the better defenses against the pass this year. Quarterbacks averaging 238.7 yards against them, 22.5-ish completions, 33.25-ish attempts on average. Although what's interesting is that recently quarterbacks have been very consistently going over this number against the Bills. The last 6 weeks that the Bills have played, 5 of those 6 quarterbacks have gone over this number, and the only one that didn't was Tyrod Taylor. So we saw Tua have 280, Trevor Lawrence 300+, Mac Jones 272, Baker Mayfield 237, and then Joe Burrow in the 340s. So it's been the way to beat the Bills the last few weeks is throwing the ball against them. It's just the question mark is, can Russell Wilson actually execute on that?
Or is the game plan just so run-centric? But at some point, like if they're down, they have to pass the ball. But I guess my point is like if the Broncos come into this and they lean on the run and Javante's getting yards, Pirine gets a few, McLaughlin, it's like are we running like 2 out of every 3 plays and Russ doesn't even have to air it out much, but I don't know. That's why I'm skeptical of just playing anything. So I'm probably going to throw up a fade.
Okay.
My only fade.
Well, so what are your thoughts on Josh Allen then?
So I like Josh Allen, but I also like another prop for him later. So
Okay.
It's kind of contradicting if I were to say I like his over. But I do lean with his over, actually, for his passing yards. But I'm not going to play it.
Okay.
What do you have?
So I'm actually thinking about Russell Wilson like completions. So I want to find the current number here. But so like people are saying that the Bills defense is hurt, right? Top 3 corners are out. It almost feels like a situation where the Broncos know this, and like Sean Payton is a smart head coach. And so the weakness of this Bills defense is probably going to be on the perimeter in the passing attack. Their run defense is like good but not great. Yeah, completions at 19.5. This is a number that he's hitting fairly frequently, although I guess not. He's been like around 20 for completions. I think that's where I want to go. Is Russell Wilson completions. I think again, it's just the weakness of the Bills defense, and it's also if the Broncos are trailing, just get a bunch late. So I'll take Wilson over completions, and chat voted for Wilson over yards.
Okay. Have faith in the kid, I guess. He's not really a kid, but
not quite.
He has a kid.
He does. Everybody was a kid at one point.
I guess so.
There's your hard-hitting facts brought to you by Nick.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys learn today? That I once was a kid.
When you're born, you're 0 years old.
Yep.
That's what I learned. All right. So let's, again, if you don't have anything else to say about these quarterbacks, let's move on to the pass catching options.
Playmakers.
The playmakers in the passing game.
Yeah.
So who's it going to be? Give me your favorite receiving props. Again, anybody over under receiving yards, over under receptions, over under longest catch. I see we've got Heisenberg on Adam Troutman.
Jeez.
Over.
Wait, he's on the over? I was
7.5
thinking
yards.
under.
We've got
I got to hear why.
Dalton Kincaid over everything, it looks like. Let me just go find a number.
I wager you sound like me the last 5 weeks, and Nick too, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, so over, we'll call it 5.5 receptions.
Although I'm a little scared, the number is a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it.
I was trying to find a clip, Nick. We were talking about this, and we literally were like, his number is going to be in the 50s at some point this season.
Mm-hmm.
When Knox got hurt and after like 2 good games.
We got Khalil Shakir over 2.5 receptions, and then one more, Samaje Perine over receiving yards. Looks like that's coming in at. There's not a good number for that. It's like 1.5. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at receptions. I was like 1.5 receiving yards minus 200. That's just like a wild number.
Does he catch a pass or not?
Yeah, receiving yards for Perine is 13.
13. That's actually not a bad. I kind of like that. Okay.
All right. So poll is
let's
up.
talk about
In.
Kincaid.
Yeah, let's talk about Dalton Kincaid. So Ben, what about Dalton Kincaid?
Well, I mean, this number is it's another 10, 12 yards from where it was, I think, last week. But he's been flying over it, and he's been getting a lot of targets. I think there's a lot of numbers that support this, too, because once Knox was injured, he kind of became, I mean, to be honest, Nick, I think you could say he's the second option for Josh Allen at this point. You think that's fair to say?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabriel Davis he got no targets last week. He's so up and down. He's like the biggest boom or bust player, maybe in the entire NFL right now, as far as just like week to week production goes.
Yeah, and traditionally, Broncos haven't been the best tight end covering team, but Kincaid kind of feels a little bit more like a slot wide receiver than tight end in my eyes. Just the way he lines up, the routes he's running, and I would have to lean with the over. I probably like receptions more a little bit, or I like receptions more than yards in this spot. What was that number again? It was
so
4.5?
So 5.5, like plus 110.
Okay.
For receptions, and then the yards at like 52.5.
I actually think the plus money at 5.5 is not a bad look.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a guy that Josh Allen's just been looking to so much recently.
Mm-hmm. So that's one I like, but I want to hear what you like because I have another.
Yeah.
But you go first.
I don't really know why. I have like a sneaking suspicion that this is a Gabe Davis game.
Just because Surtain is going to be all over Diggs and
yeah, we get Surtain on Diggs. He didn't do anything last week. A lot of people watching Kincaid across the middle that might bring a safety in. I feel like we just get like one big ass throw out to Gabe Davis,
and it hits, and then you can go to bed.
Yeah. So give me, I think Gabe Davis longest reception at 18.5 on FanDuel. Feels like something I'm interested in here.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes a lot of sense.
So are you on the Kincaid prop? Is that what you want me to play? Or
no, I have another one, but this one it's moved and it's also an alt line. So, but I want to talk about it because I think it's a really good point to make, and you've preached it many times. But we've talked a lot about like the talent versus basically production, right? How there can be players who are pretty talented, they're hitting or they're checking the boxes, but they're just not seeing the volume. And I think Marvin Mims is one of those guys, but I like some of his alt overs today, but I don't like his regular line just because he could legit go like one target, no yards in this game, and that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he's done each of the last 2 games.
Absolutely.
And he the week before that also, except he didn't even have any targets.
Yeah, so this number opened up at 15.5 this morning. It's jumped up to 20.5, like minus 130 in some spots, which is interesting. I don't know if that's just everyone expects him to have a breakout game or where that movement's coming from, but I played an all over 40 yards at plus 700, and I think it's come down as this number's gone up, obviously. Like all the alts are following suit. But my point, what I'm getting at here is like a guy like this coming off a bye for a younger player, and Sean Payton's been talking about Mims too. I think it's either you play some alts or you stay away. You don't play the over 20.
I could not agree more. Yeah. I think if you're trying to play Marvin Mims over 20 when he has -7 scrimmage yards combined in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's
not enough upside.
It's a silly bet, right? I mean, if you're betting -110s, you want to find something that's like 55-60%.
Mm-hmm. This feels like it's 50-50 or maybe even
no, it feels like the under is the move.
I know it's so weird. It's a weird prop, and like I hope people understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like it's either he's flying over or he's not doing shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So he's had 0 games this season where he's finished between, or here, let me put it this way: he's had 1 game this season where he's finished between 10 and 70 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's had 0 games between 10 yards and 45 yards.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a guy where you bet the alt because he's either going to do absolutely nothing or going to have 1 massive catch.
Yeah, Nick, let's do the Polish middle here and play the alt over and then play just the under.
Yeah, the alt under.
Yeah.
Under 0.5.
Yeah,
that's hit 3 weeks in a row.
I think the lowest is probably like 10 you could go, but yeah. Who knows?
So what's your current number on the Mims?
Okay, let's take a look here.
Because we need to cite
it's just one book, so
here.
That's why I was like, maybe I'll just give out the Kincaid prop since it's a.
Well, I know it's like courses through your veins, giving out Mims overs every week.
I think this is only the second one.
I feel like we've talked about Marvin Mims overs like 5 times this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact this is only the second time I played it. And the other one was the Chiefs game, and I don't think he had a catch.
Yeah. 40 plus is 275 on DraftKings.
Hell, no, I can't do that. I locked that in at plus 700.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Did you have 40 plus or 50 plus?
I thought I had... Hold on. Was it 40 or 50?
I think it was 50.
Oh, it was 50. So what's 50 right now? I'm looking at it. Hold on. All receiving yards, Mims is plus 450. No, give me the Kincaid prop. The receptions at plus money. 5.5 over.
Okay. There we go. And watch, now this is the week that Mims will hit.
I mean, I already have it in, so...
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens with them.
I want to find a book where I can bet under 0.5 yards.
I could find one that's under like 10.
No, I don't want under 10. I want under 0.5.
What about no catches though?
No catches works. Yeah. I mean, that's like the same thing. It's very, very, very difficult to have over 0.5 receiving yards when you have under 0.5 catches.
It's possible, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 1 catch and no yards last week or their last game.
Oh, well, I'm saying you can actually
the other way around because it's like if you like on a fumble return.
Yeah, or it's a lateral.
Yeah, I meant lateral.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, don't they count those as rushing yards?
I thought it's receiving yards.
I think.
Isn't there one if you if you throw a backwards pass, and then I don't know. There's a weird rule where you can get yards, but just without a catch. I just forget how it happens.
I don't know. Anyways, W knowledge of the rules nuances.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk some rushing props. Chat, just like we've done with the last couple of things, need your favorite rushing play in today's game. It could be anybody on either team, over under rushing yards, over under rushing attempts, over under longest rush. That kind of thing. We'll take up to 5. Put them in a poll. See what we got. We got James Cook. Over 58.5 rushing yards from Synchronicity. We've got Russell Wilson. Under 21.5 yards from Heisenberg. I know that we've had a couple others pop up earlier. Also news, Leonard Fournette not playing today. Somebody was on Jaleel McLaughlin. That was a QB Vision. McLaughlin over 16.5 yards. We've got Javonte Williams. Over 54.5 yards. And we've got Jaleel McLaughlin under rushing plus receiving from iWager. Let me find what that number is at. That is at 26.5. If you're looking for an under. All right. So poll is up. Get your votes in. Let us know what you like. Also Malik with a alt line on Sutton that he likes back in the receiving prep market. Over 60 plus. All right. So Ben, you were alluding a little bit earlier that you like Josh Allen today, but don't like his passing yards as much as you like another Josh Allen prop. So what is that Josh Allen prop?
Rush attempts. And our good old friends at FanDuel have, I believe, 6.5, when the rest of the market has like 7.5. Minus 114, over 6.5 rush attempts.
Is that active? Because if you're looking just on unabated, there's a big delay.
Okay, let me
on
take a
FanDuel.
look. But if any book were to do something like this, it would be FanDuel.
Yeah, and also actually comparing it to like the MGM line, that it makes sense.
Yeah. So my thinking here, it's kind of historical with how Josh Allen has ran the ball. And last game he took over a little bit running the ball, but I feel like later in the season, second half of the season, he likes to be a little more aggressive with his legs and create plays. And I think one of the ways he internalizes this is like, I don't want to force anything with my arm, so I'll run the ball. And if we're only asking for 7 rushes, I think that's a pretty good look. So let me just double check.
I just double checked. He is 6.5 minus 114. Both sides of the over under on FanDuel. And then he's like
Seems
a more
pretty good to me.
juiced, like over plus 148 or plus 108 plus 114 on like DK and Caesars. With unders like minus 150 ish. Do kneel downs count as a rush? Yes, they do. So yeah. Yes, and the juice that Caesars has on their NFL player props is awful.
Yeah, they are probably one of the worst.
Yeah. It's like it's bad. I mean, if you got like a plus 110, you expecting like minus 135 on the other side.
It's like minus 145
Yeah,
sometimes.
and they're offering like minus, not even plus 110, plus 108, and then minus 148 on the other side.
I mean, I've seen it like minus 125, minus 120, like just weird splits, man.
Yeah, well, so let's see. Let's do some math here real quick. So if we've got 108, that's 48.08%. Implied probability, and minus 148 is 59. So it's like 11%.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck trying to make a lot of money betting into that.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty criminal. So yeah, doesn't that seem like a pretty good bet? I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully I'm not missing anything. I mean, I didn't look at historically in this season how quarterbacks are, or how the Broncos defense is doing against rushing quarterbacks, but I don't know. You were kind of onto that too a little bit, right? The like Allen in primetime type thing.
He runs a lot in games where it matters.
Yeah. It's a big game. I mean, they can't lose this game. They would fall off pace. So
yeah, absolutely. So chat voted for Jaleel McLaughlin over 16.5 yards. What are your thoughts on that, Ben?
over, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good look. I mean, the only worry is if he doesn't get over 5 snaps. Or sorry, 5 touches.
Yeah. All right, that's always rough.
Yeah, just because it's one of those, like, especially with running backs in this situation, it's like if he can get 5, if I could look into a crystal ball, see he gets 5 touches, I would put another unit on it, right? But that's not how this works.
Yeah. I'm actually also on that McLaughlin over.
Nice.
I just think even if he's getting 4 touches, 5 touches, he's just been so explosive when he gets the ball. I mean, his last games, he had 33 on 4 carries, 45 on 5 carries, 30 on 7 carries, and like 60 plus the 2 weeks before that. He's just going out there. He's big carry, big carry, big carry. Actually, so what about a longest rush for McLaughlin?
Yeah, the only concern is if he doesn't get, enough attempts.
Yeah.
Because it is a guy who could get 6 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards.
Yeah, I mean, and like, what are the chances that he goes over? I mean, his longest rush is at like 8.5.
I guess that is pretty low, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually like 12, 13.
Well, it can't be 12 or 13 when his full number's at 16.
Yeah. Damn, 6.5?
8.5. It's
wait,
eight,
what am I?
8.5 minus 114 on FanDuel, and then looks like 9.5, like plus 100, or even plus 110 on DK.
Ah, okay. I think that's a fair number.
Yeah, I agree.
I would probably just lean with rush yards.
Yeah, I'll take the yards. All right, and then one more category before we wrap up the stream. Everybody's favorite touchdown props. Who is going to find the end zone today? Chat, we need your favorite anytime touchdown scorers. Please, I'm begging you, give me the odds with the player. Let's see what we got. So Synchronicity says Cortland Sutton.
Ooh. Been a fiend in the red zone lately. He's been getting a lot of targets.
So we got Sutton plus 175. We've got Russell Wilson plus 500. We've got Dalton Kincaid plus 160. I think that was just answering the question of what is Kincaid's price, but we'll put that in the poll anyways. iWager says Josh Allen. Let's see. Josh Allen looks like I've just got FanDuel up plus 110. And then anybody else? No, I'm just gonna run the poll with that.
Von Miller, Nick?
Von Miller touchdown. Is he playing today?
I think so, and Caesars has a lineup 80-1, Nick. Little strip sack, Nick.
Yeah.
Man, I might have to do it now because we talk about this and I don't do it. But that's actually a bad practice to get into, huh?
Yes.
Like, oh, Nick, we have to do it. We talked about it.
Yeah, that's how you just like slowly throw away coin over time.
Yep.
All right. So, Ben, who is your touchdown scorer today?
I'm gonna go with Marvin Mims.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I gotta stay on brand. So.
What do you like about Marvin Mims?
So hear me out, Nick. I think if he
listening.
scores, it's gonna be most likely the first touchdown. At least of the Broncos score. I can't control what the Bills do. So yeah, give me 35-1. Mims first touchdown score.
Well, I'm putting you down for Mims anytime touchdown at plus 500.
That's fine. A little scripted. First drive for the Broncos. They've had a bye. Why not? Why not, Nick?
Yeah, why not? There is an answer to why not.
Yeah, there are a lot
because
of
he's going to get no
answers.
targets. All right, I'm checking one thing real quick. I'm checking to see if a player's playing. Okay, this player is playing.
Is it Morris?
It is Quentin Morris.
Yeah, he got a touchdown 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, it was his only catch of the season.
Wow, that's.
But he's been
solid.
out a couple games with Kincaid as the only tight end on the roster. I think with him back, grabbing him at plus 1,000 is not a bad look at all. So give me Quentin Morris plus a foul out to score a touchdown.
Did he play last game? He did, but he only had two snaps. But I don't know if was 100%.
All it takes is 2 snaps, Ben.
That's all. When did he score a touchdown? Was it week 5?
Yeah, he scored against the Giants.
Yeah, he only had 6 that game, so you're right. No knocks.
Yeah,
Someone's got to be out there.
Yeah. All right. Paga's on FIU plus 23.5. Yeah. Miami's not doing the best right now. Only up 2 at halftime. FIU scoring. Nailing threes. Hit 7 of them.
Jeez.
Don't love that. All right. So we've got Josh Allen to score a touchdown as the winner, unsurprisingly, of the chat poll. All right. Is North Florida not playing well? See, Dadbod just has North Florida crying face.
Yeah, they're down. They're down, like 20.
19. Nice. Love that. 20 points already lost. Hey, it's happened before. It'll happen again. So, Ben, what is your favorite bet on today's slate?
I'm going to go with Josh Allen over 6.5 rush attempts. I think it's just too damn low. I really do.
Alrighty. The number is too damn low. And then give me, I think, Russell Wilson over 19.5 completions. I just think that whether the Broncos win this game or lose this game, it's going to be because Russell Wilson's completing passes. I mean, if they're up, I don't think they're going to go out and carry the ball 30 times successfully against the Bills. Bills have a hurt secondary. So I think it's like their key to success. Pass the ball a little bit more maybe than people are expecting them to. And then if they're down, of course, a lot of quick completions. So that's going to be my favorite player. Alrighty.
I like it. I'm going to lock that in.
Anything else?
Let's see here. I think that's it.
Alrighty. And if that is all you have, that is all that I have as well. Appreciate everyone hanging out for the college basketball stream and the NFL stream. A little back-to-back action. Even though college basketball looking like a little bit of piss right now. Are you on anything that's underway?
I am on the... Let's see here. What am I on? I'm on the Duquesne under. I think that's looking decent. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I'm on the Michigan under.
Oh, I had the over as a lean for the
I
Michigan
know.
game. I was like really close to firing it up.
But you know what's funny is first half was looking pretty cookie candy, but all of a sudden they've slowed down a little bit,
Yeah,
just a little bit. We'll see what happens.
yeah, we will.
And then I'm on the last one. I'm on is the over in the LIU. Who did they play? Pepperdine.
Uh huh.
It's like 160.
I'm just scared because Pepperdine played yesterday. I was on Pepperdine's
Yeah.
over yesterday.
Yeah, and also LIU has to fucking fly all the way from Brooklyn to Malibu. That's not a good flight.
They're just there to have a good time.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any defense played or if the pace is as high as it should be, but we'll see. Florida State's looking good though.
Yeah, Florida State's looking good. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up my full
Yeah, I didn't even see what you were on.
list.
I know you said it, but
Here.
also how is this team is losing to Central Connecticut State by 30 points. It's like a NAIA, but it's like how bad do you have to be to
Central Connecticut, I think, is going to be better than people expect this year.
I know, but
I
30?
bet on them on Friday to cover 8.5 against a Quinnipiac team that I think it's going to be pretty decent this year.
I hopped on listening to the stream, driving back from my haircut, and you guys are all sweating that out.
Yep. So yeah, here's my full list of leans, and of course, it's looking like a lot of leans are looking good. Like UMass is up, I guess 9 at halftime.
Ooh, Nebraska.
Yeah, I love Nebraska today. I should have fucking bet Butler. Butler is so much better than people think they are. They're up 21 so far. They're minus 17.5. They've won both their games by like 35 points.
Is Butler back?
Did they ever leave?
Yeah, they left for like 2 seasons.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Thad Matta's doing a good job. North Florida, which I bet is looking like shit. Florida State is up 15 now. We'll take that.
Wow.
I'm on Citadel Presbyterian under.
What's the lean there, or what's the handicap there?
It's just 2 slow teams. Presbyterian's defense is excellent. I mean, Citadel's played a couple really good teams close, but it's been more because of kind of meh offense. So that's 31-35 with 24 seconds left in the first half.
Nice.
Versus 136. And then Miami needs to step it the fuck up.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they actually were up by a lot. They were up as many as 17. FIU just came storming back.
Also, Penn is tied up with Villanova.
Yeah, well, yeah, Penn's actually up 2 now at half. I had
shit.
I had Nova plus the points as a lean on the screen, but decided not to bet it. Oh, and then I also in the 5:30 games we've got a couple more things. I've got Stephen F. Austin minus 12.5 against Northwestern State. Northwestern State's going to be so bad this year. They're up 19-5 right now. And then happy I laid off the Western Carolina Middle Tennessee State under because that is 18-17 already. 8 minutes in. Oh, also, question from Payaga. It says, Ben, do you remember last year you gave a college basketball under because of hard rims?
Yeah, I remember. I just don't know what.
I don't think that was an actual question. That was just like a... Well, I guess that is a question.
I remember giving them out. It just depends which one it was. But I know, like, off the top of my head, it's always like the Arch Madness games. They have like the hardest fucking rims.
Yep.
But there's only select like arenas that really have that. So oh damn, I was gonna bet South Carolina too, Nick. I guess that one's pretty much actually not on pace.
You were gonna bet the over?
No, I was gonna bet South Carolina.
Yeah, I was scared because I know we had Jim on who said VMI looks pretty bad, but their freshmen can fucking shoot.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was scared.
Well, Nick, they're military members. Of course they can.
Yeah, they can shoot on and off the court.
Oh, by the way, Nick, I think I cracked Air Force.
What's the deal with Air Force?
Well, I mean, I'm 2-0 betting in games with them. So it's a small
Well,
sample
yeah, so
size.
it's like, what's the read? What key takeaway have you gleaned from Air Force's first 2 games that is actionable moving forward?
It's pretty square at this point, but it's like if they play like a team that they're better than, I feel like they know how to run them out the gym. But when they play a team that is superior, then it's like the inverse. They can't stay close. But I guess it doesn't really make sense because Delaware, it was somewhat close. But I don't know. They're a weird team. I just feel like when they played LIU, they could smell blood in the water, and they were like sharks, and they just got the bait, and then they ran away with it. So,
It's funny because LIU is the Sharks.
exactly. Craig went down. I called Craig because I was like, dude, you should go see a Brooklyn game or a LIU game in Brooklyn. And he was like, yeah, they changed their colors like 4 years ago, and he knew all this stuff about them. But
Yeah.
such a weird little arena. It's just like, it looks like my high school gym.
Yeah, it does look like a high school gym. That's all they have room for.
Yeah, it's the city. What are they gonna do? Like tear down all these skyscrapers?
Are they the best team on Long Island? Probably not.
What are the others?
So I think Hostra's on Long Island. I think Stony Brook is on Long Island.
Stony Brook's not that good, but
I think Stony Brook is going to be better than people.
wait, I'm thinking of
this year.
what's the other team in the neck that's not that good?
All of them.
It starts with an S.
Stonehill.
Is it Stonehill?
Yeah, that was a new D1 team last year.
Yeah, they're not looking good. There's gonna be some weird games with those schools, man.
Who else is on?
Hawk-
Is it just those 3 on Long Island? In D1?
I was gonna ask Loki iCarly, but she can't even find a number for a bet. So
True.
yeah, there's a lot, man. There are so many schools in New York City. It's crazy. You got Manhattan. You got is Siena, or is that more north?
Siena's not in the city.
Where is it?
It's in Siena.
Where is Siena?
I don't fucking know. But it's not in the city.
What's the place where the all the rich people go? The Hamptons?
Yeah.
They have to drive through Long Island to get there.
Probably not.
That's why Loki iCarly doesn't like that area.
Yeah.
She's probably like, fuck these uppity people.
Who else is in New York City? I mean, St. Francis, New York doesn't exist anymore, but they were in New York City.
Isn't that like a Queens? Isn't that a team?
Queens is in South Carolina.
Oh, it's not Queens.
It's not Queens, New York. It's Queens. That Queens is in South Carolina or North Carolina. I think it's in South Carolina. St. Joe's, obviously, in the Bronx.
St. John's.
Oh yeah, it's St. John's, not St. Joe's. St. Joe's is in Philly.
Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be others. Yeah, Iona's not in New York City, right? It's like elsewhere in New York, I think.
Say, yeah. Yes, I do know how large of a state it is.
Or is it in Yonkers? Which I guess is technically not in New York City.
Ooh, Iona. But that's not in the city. Go Red Foxes.
Queens. Okay, yeah, Queens is in North Carolina. Thank you, D-Smalls.
Yeah, come on, Nick.
Jesus Christ, you thought it was in fucking Queens, New York? Okay. I don't want to hear about it. I also thought that it was in Queens, New York the first time I saw the name, and then I was like, wait, it's not.
Kent State is not in Kentucky for the millionth time, guys.
Yeah, and University of Oakland is not in California. It's in Michigan.
And Jackson State is not in Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville State
Florida
is not in Jacksonville, which is maybe the more interesting one. Because I mean,
And Air Force is not in space, guys, for the millionth fucking time.
if it was called Space Force, it would be in space. it's in the air, not in
Dude,
space. Okay.
Just wait till Elon Musk gets into like the sports betting world. He's like, let's have a game on the moon.
Yeah. So hold on. So Pick Six says Oakland is the best one. I disagree. I actually think that Jacksonville State not being in Jacksonville, Florida, is more interesting than Oakland not being in California.
I think Oakland is the easiest to get confused because I'm not gonna lie. For like 3 years, I thought it was in California.
Yeah, it's like, why is this random California team in the Horizon League?
Yeah, I'm like, man, it's like today's Big Ten. I thought that was funny, but maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, the total in the Broncos game is now up to 48.
Ruh-roh.
So, does that mean anything?
Yeah, it means the total's 48 now.
Are the Sharks
I think
finally?
that there were some 48s out there.
Yeah, it's a bookmaker though.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 47.5 minus 105 on FanDuel. Sharpest book out there. Caesars even has it at 47.
Is this the game where this over trend finally comes to or the under trend ends and then over hits?
Could be. Also, yeah, Derek, that's another good one. Is that Miami is in Ohio, or like, although that one's called Miami, Ohio, so that's like not as tough.
Oh, it's back down on Circa. It's just going back and forth.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, I think we're good to call it.
Yep. Let's go ahead and call it. Appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. What's the plan for tomorrow? I should probably do something college basketball related. There's so many damn games. It's so much work.
Is it actually a good schedule? Well, as in,
are there good games? We got Duke and Michigan State.
Oh yeah, but no, I was just saying more volume wise.
Oh yeah, no, there's like a ton of games, and there's good games. Probably like the best games this season so far.
Oh okay, I probably will hop on, Nick.
Okay, I don't want to do it in the morning because there's just not enough time to research everything properly. So
what time do you think?
Probably like when I did it on Friday. So like, first, I mean, there's a 2:00 our time game, but then a 4:00 game. So I guess we go live just before the 2:00 game.
2 p.m. our time.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So 4:00. It's either 4:00 Eastern or 6:00 Eastern. Those are the two options.
What game is?
North Dakota State and UC Davis.
Ooh.
And then that's standalone for the 2 hours. There's a good game at 4. Wisconsin Providence.
Let's just go live at 2.
Okay. So
that way we can, because someone will have something and then we can just sweat it out.
Yeah, it'll be fun to have a game.
It's a standalone.
Yeah. All right. So college basketball stream tomorrow, 2:00 our time, 4:00 Eastern. Be there. Or be square, although I guess squares are kind of grubbing in college basketball this year, so maybe being square is a good thing. But be there anyways. And,
don't be a Squircle. That's the worst to be.
Yeah, don't be a Squircle. Don't be fake sharp. Don't be Squircle. I honestly, the Squircles are like grubbing on
themselves
on like sushi that's been sitting out, that you like left it in your car when you bought it 2 weeks ago. That's what the Squircles are grubbing on.
That 7-Eleven
yeah, like
sushi.
7-Eleven, 11 p.m. sushi that you forgot you forgot in your car.
Nick's great grandfather he knew Webster's dictionary. So,
Payaga, Squircle here. I'm gonna explain this word using another complicated word. It is a portmanteau of square and circle. Mm-hmm. So you're trying so hard to not be square that you lose all of your edges.
Mm-hmm.
Is a Squircle.
Overthinking everything, trying way too hard. The worst you can be. So. Squircle.
But yeah, There's been a lot of very obvious Squircle plays, and they're all losing.
All of them.
Yep. All right. So yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Good luck on your bets, unless you're fading us.
Go Mims, baby!
Go Mims. Mims, 80-yard touchdown, first play of the game. Ben cashes plus $1 billion.
Remember the rapper Mims, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had like that one song that was really popular way back.
This is warm,
Yeah. That's the one. And then I guess I was in middle school when that came out. You were probably like a freshman in high school or something.
Yeah. We were warming up to that song in basketball when I was draining threes after threes and on soft rims, Payaga. All right. That was okay. We got to go.
Yep.
Okay, later.
Peace.